Hello, my name is Nicole Gregory, Museum Director here at the Mort Museum of Collierville History. Today is March 30th, and this is our third recording of the In Their Words Collierville Oral History Project. Today with me I have Miss Betty Only, and I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit to the camera here.
My name is Betty Sue Cowan Only. I live in Collierville, have lived in Collierville all of my life. My husband and I built a house on Peterson Lake Road in 1974, and we have been there all these years. And as I say, I grew up in Collierville.
Awesome. So was it just your family? Were there multiple generations that came before you, or?
My multiple generations.
Okay. So how far back does it go?
Well, my grandfather, who was Presbyterian minister here, and he was here in the late 1880s, early 1990s.
Wow.
I said that wrong.
It's okay.
He was here beginning in the late 1880s, and he died in 1935.
Okay.
So he was here a lot of years.
Absolutely.
My father and mother were both active here in various ways. My mom was first librarian, had a kindergarten when the kindergartens were new. My dad grew up in here in Collierville, went to Southwestern, kept books for the plant that made implements here, John Deere.
John Deere, okay.
He kept books there for several years and decided that teaching was more satisfying than that was. So he taught for a number of years, and he was the teacher who, if you ask high school students their favorite teacher, 9 out of 10 times it would be my dad.
Oh, okay.
And so they were active here. They had I'm not positive it was the first antique shop, but I think it was. They lived on College and had an antique shop there in the back of their house. And it was built with old wood from a barn on our farm. Was what they built it out of. So anyway.
Maybe repurpose,
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, I have 2 children. They grew up here in Collierville. So, yeah, we've been around in various ways for a few years.
Yeah, I was about to say for a little bit, huh? So you've lived here pretty much your whole life, basically.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and so can you tell us a little bit about the Collierville you remember as you grew up?
Oh.
I know it's hard to put into words.
Oh no, it was an amazing place. I don't think we realized how amazing it was until things have changed for the better, and maybe not for the better in some ways.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, I lived on South Rowlett, where Cowan Road is now. That was where our family farmed. And my grandmother was a part of a socialite family in Memphis. So when she married my grandfather, who was a widower with 3 children, Presbyterian minister, her father knew the minister was never going to have any money. So he bought the farm out here for them and built a house there. And it was there, and I was there until I went off to college, and my mom and dad built a house on Cooper. And college, right at the corner there. And so we have, I've watched things in a lot of different ways. I've watched my traffic, I've watched the school, I've watched my church, I've watched downtown. I worked in Mr. Newby's drugstore for a number of years. So there are a lot of different facets of Collierville that I've watched change. The school, we were all in that same building, grades 1 through 12. We rode in the same buses. We stood outside and waited on the buses to come. All of us the same bus, different ages. So you knew everybody.
Absolutely.
From first grade through 12th. Our school was so small. My graduating class had, I think, about 32 in it. Our school had a high school because they sent buses to Fisherville and Eads and into Fayette County and into North Mississippi in order to have enough students to have a high school. My dad used to say he taught everything from except home ec. And he did because he was a language major at Southwestern.
Okay.
So he taught Spanish and Latin and French when we had French. And then he taught a little bit of everything else because if they needed somebody to teach science, then he taught science. If they needed something else, he taught something else.
So he's a jack of all trades.
He was a jack of all trades. Yes, he was. And he was a teacher, as I say, because he felt like he could have more of an influence. And so I had him for several classes, which was a different experience. It was fun, but it was different.
I was about to say, you have Dad over you the whole time.
Yes. And when at night I'd say, "Oh, we got you off today, off the subject," and he'd sort of laugh and he'd say, "How far off did you get me?" And I'd say, "Till it was time to get out a clean sheet of paper and a pencil." And he said, "Absolutely." And that was his way of shutting us down. When he had let us discuss something long enough, that's what he would do. But his father was the Presbyterian minister here. So he grew up having to learn a scripture for each meal, just like a verse.
Oh, okay.
And so he told me one time that it was getting close to Christmas and he wanted a watch. And so there is a scripture, they tell me, and he told me, that says, "Watch, I tell you, watch." And that was his scripture to remind them that that's what they were supposed to get him, was a watch. I tell you, watch. So anyway,
Hey, that's a creative way to do it.
that was a way to get it across, absolutely. But he went to the Presbyterian church growing up. He pumped the pump organ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's back in the day.
Way back in the day. Way back, there was a Victorian house sitting next to the little white church, Presbyterian church. And so the lady who played the organ there in the church lived in that Presbyterian house, the house next to the Presbyterian church.
Okay.
And so my dad he stayed in the Presbyterian church as long as my grandmother was living. And then he joined the Baptist church, which is where my mom was. But I find it interesting that he taught the men's Bible class in the Baptist church. And actually, it was all the men in the Baptist church went to that one.
Okay.
It was the church that was just down the block from it.
Okay.
And so he taught that. And I find it very interesting that a Presbyterian was teaching a Baptist Sunday school class of all the men, but it didn't seem to bother the men. They were perfectly happy with it.
The word's the word, you know?
Yes, the word is the word. And so he taught that. And like I say, after my grandmother died, he joined the Baptist. He never quit being a Presbyterian, though.
Yeah,
Always Presbyterian at heart.
absolutely.
But
Is that Presbyterian church still standing? Or?
yes, and that's the one that they have across from the Episcopal Church.
Okay,
there.
I was going to ask if that was the same church.
Yeah, it was. And on occasion, they had the minister that rotated. He was here one Sunday, and then there were three other communities that he serviced. So he was here one Sunday a month. My grandfather would have been, and so it was fun to go with my dad from the Baptist church and walk down to the little Presbyterian church, and we'd of course sit in there, no air conditioning, and those stained glass windows. And you could look and you could see the shrubs outside blowing against those windows. And I don't know why, but I still remember the way that looked. And we would walk down there on occasion when the minister was here at the Methodist church, the Presbyterian church. So anyway.
That is such a cool memory. It's funny the things your brain grabs onto.
It is, and as I say, so many things have changed. Of course, my church has gone from the little stone church, which is where my husband and I got married, and I was baptized, to the next building that was built, which is no longer there. And from there to out where we are now. So it has moved several different times in my lifetime.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, it was a stone, as I say, a stone church when we got married.
So like probably one of the originals then.
It was closer to the original, but our church burned a time or two along the,
Well,
time.
a lot of stuff burned during
Yeah,
the years.
exactly. So, but no, that was the stone church, and then, as I say, we built another church down the way where the Presbyterian, close to the Presbyterian church.
Okay.
And then we went from there out to Powell and
Okay.
where we are now. So it has changed a lot.
I was about to say, has it just because of size, I'm guessing? They just have such a big congregation? Or?
It is.
Okay.
The congregation has grown. We had like 250 in it when I was growing up, maybe on Easter Sunday.
On a good day.
On Easter Sunday, we would have that. But outside of that, it has grown up. We have total, I think, 1,800 member-wise. We don't get that many every Sunday, but it has grown tremendously, and also I've seen a number of the ministers there over the time, and so it has. It's just interesting the way things have changed. My house that I lived in is not there anymore.
I was going to ask you, like, what the neighborhood that you grew up in was like. I'm assuming the house is now gone, so.
It is. If you go down South Rowlett,
Okay.
and you turn on Cowan.
Okay.
That's where our farm was. There's a street that goes from South Rowlett around to Winchester.
Yes, I think
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, and that area, a gentleman whose name was Buddy Cartwright, who owned a lot of land around Collierville.
We heard about the Cartwrights, that's
You
for
know
sure.
those? Well, he bought our farm from my dad, and so along the way, the town wanted that declared so they could put the road through there. And he told them that he would give them the land through there if they'd let him name the street. So he had my dad in high school, and he named it. He was very complimentary of him.
I was going to ask how it became known as the Cowan Street. So
It's Cowan.
Cowan, Cowan.
That's all right. Listen, every street's been called everything here in Collierville, so it makes no difference.
well, that's my Eastern Shore accent coming out of me. We do a lot of O's and stuff like that.
I have a daughter and son who live up in the Northeast, so there's some strange kind of accents up there. So listen, not a problem.
It's like a mixture between like a New Yorkie kind of like twang with like Southern drawl, and it makes it very hard to understand what we're saying sometimes. So
sometimes it does, yeah. And I got to teach at Collierville Elementary. I taught that, yeah. I taught at several different places, but I retired from Collierville Elementary.
But say a lot of you, I remember you had given us a big donation a couple years ago, and a lot of that was pictures of Collierville High School and the events that you all did there, and things like that, which is some of our biggest like photos we have of inside of the school system. So I mean, I was going to ask you about your teaching life here. I mean, you got to see a lot of phases of a lot of people.
I have, and I've got to see kids grown up, parents of kids I had. That's so much fun. I actually started out in kindergarten, and then for several years, they had a great class called a K1 Transitional, and that was for the kids who were not quite ready for first grade, but they weren't ready they needed kindergarten again. So this gave them the opportunity, and I tell people that I actually had more little boys than little girls, which if you know anything about little boys, you know they're a little slower maturing than little girls a lot of times. So I had so many little boys that I didn't have enough little girls to put between them. You know, that was a method of keeping fun down, was if you
split them up a little bit.
As much as possible. But we did that for several years, and I liked it. And then I retired from first grade. I liked them all.
Yeah.
I said I learned more than, oh my goodness. You learn so much.
Absolutely.
And it was, I love teaching. I think it was in my blood.
Yeah.
And I think that it was something that I just felt like that's where I needed to be. So.
Definitely sounds like a family thing that you all just feel like you could do so much more impact.
Yeah.
And I mean, my grandfather grew up in a one-room schoolhouse. They had one teacher for like many of his classes.
Yes.
And I feel like you guys back then, when it was not as much of a workforce as it is now, I mean, you guys were kind of stewarding the next generation of the whole town.
Right.
I mean, like,
well, you did come in and to have like my dad. Well, my dad's third grade teacher was my third grade teacher. She lived in a little house across the street from our school.
Okay.
Miss Tommy Thornton. And she taught, Miss Martha lived on North Rowlett, if I'm not mistaken. She taught our second grade. And then fourth grade was a lady who lived in Cordova. Fifth grade was Miss Ida Pearlman. These are teachers I had. Do you
I
remember?
must say, we know about Miss Ida Pearl.
Oh,
She's all over that school.
She is all over that school, and she
Deserved it, from what I was told.
well, she made it set the tone for the school for then on. And then so these people, Miss Osteen was my sixth grade teacher, and then taught me in high school. She lived. Do you know where the Purple House is? There, right across the street
I
from
say,
here.
is that purple house is right there.
Well, that's where the Osteens lived. He was principal of the high school of the school. He was principal of the school. Then, when they built the elementary school, Miss Ida Pearl became the principal of the elementary school. Yeah.
Was it always a purple house? I was wondering how long the purple's been around.
No, the purple, she was not, the Purple House has been here. The Kelseys, some of the Kelseys live in that.
I thought so.
Yeah, Richard's son, who was in my graduating class, who I went to school with from 1 through 12. Well, it's his son that lives in now.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you can spot the people around that you went to school with, and a family connection.
Absolutely. The Kelseys are a big family in
Oh,
Collierville,
they
too.
are. They absolutely are.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, Kelsey's and Carrington's and several other groups.
Cartwrights and yeah, there's a few families that have been here since the beginning, and I think one of yours is one of them, of course.
Well, not anything like some of the other families.
Some of the other ones have been here like pre-Civil War.
Yes, my goodness, exactly.
And they go back a minute.
Yeah, they have a long history in it. Well, I can remember my mom telling me one time that the greatest gift that a parent can leave a child is a good name. And that's, when I think about my family and other families, I think that's a very important thing.
Absolutely.
Is the good, you know, that's an important thing that you've contributed to what's gone on and to making the community a better place. And well, as I say, my mom was first librarian. She did that for 18 years.
Was she at the small library that was on
The
the square?
little bitty white one. Yeah, it started out smell like hamburgers.
Yeah.
That's what she used to say. That's why kids like to come in there, because it had been a short order place before it was
it has.
Yeah, that's. When I say it smelled like hamburgers, it was, you were going, oh, yeah, what? But there was a small, short order place there for a period of time.
That is so interesting. I've only known it as library
Yeah,
before that.
well, no, it was before, there was something else there before that.
Absolutely.
And so.
How did she get into that? Did they ask her? Did she volunteer?
Well, she was a member of the Contemporary Club.
Okay.
And you've heard that, I'm sure, but they actually were a group of ladies who got behind their husbands who got the library out here. So I always say that if you want to get something done,
Call the wives.
Call the wives. Don't waste your time with the husbands. Call the wives.
I'm saying you're still currently a member with the Contemporary Club
I am.
too. I mean, how long have you been a member with them?
Oh my goodness. I was trying to think, because I was a member, and then I went reserve when I started teaching, because the times did not jive.
Yeah.
They when I first joined, you wore a hat and gloves and heels and your best Sunday clothes is what you wore to the Contemporary Club.
Because you used to meet in people's homes too back
meet
then.
in people's homes, and you didn't just have a dessert, you had a light meal when you had the club at your house. That's what you did. And so I belonged for several years then, and then went on reserve. And once I retired, which in '99,
Okay.
then I had
Came
the
back.
opportunity to come back. So
Did you ever host the Contemporary Club at your house?
no, I never did. I'll tell you the truth. I was trying to think if I would have had a room big enough to have hosted it, but I
True.
know
There's a lot of.
I never hosted it, but I certainly enjoyed being a part of it. It's a great group.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, the Contemporary Club was started because the Rotary Club members were all male, and they kind of helped start the Contemporary Club with their wives and things like that. That's the story I've been told.
That's a good story. And that probably, as far as has truth to it, it actually started as a book club, I think, and then moved on to other things. And if you look at our history, you'll see things that are tied in. For instance, when they collected dimes for the March of Dimes.
Yes.
We sold those of us who were young, and this probably was more of a VFW thing. But you remember the poppies or the little flowers that
for,
you
Memorial
donation? Yeah. Well, we were the young ones of us were part of it, and so there have been various activities along the way that tied in with what was going on in the community itself.
Well, you all were the ones who moved the library from the square to the building it is now. That was one of your major projects?
Okay, our major project was actually number one, starting the library.
Yes.
Because it started from there, and then of course it had the opportunity to move to still there where the white building was located.
Mm-hmm.
They tore it down and built the first new library. Yeah. And during that time, there was a older house that backed up to the white building. Okay. So when they got ready to build the new building, they had to move the contents of the little white building to the Victorian house, which is where it was housed while construction was being completed on this. We call it the new library.
Yeah, but so now they've got the new library.
That's right. But in order to do that, they had to move everything out of the white building. So my dad, who was teaching at the time, came up with a way to move a whole shelf of books at one time. Therefore, you could move them and slide them into where we were keeping them and not mess them up.
Yeah.
They stayed in order.
That's important.
Okay. It is when you've got several hundred books.
Yeah.
So then they had to have somebody to move those books. So my dad suggested to some of the boys at the high school that they might want to help. And I was telling this story, and Hal Joyner, Mayor Joyner, was a part of the group, and he said, guess who one of those boys was that helped move those boxes? And he had been one of the person that helped do that.
So cool.
And then they moved them back, of course, when the new building was completed. But people don't think about now that we had to sign the card.
Oh, yeah.
And you could see who read what books and, all that kind of thing, because you signed it and then stamped it
Yeah.
when it was due back. And so.
See, I used to be so nosy. I would be like, okay, who's got
Oh,
this book?
my dad was a reader, and after he had a heart condition to develop, we would go up and get him literally brown bags full of books. Well, we had trouble finding books that he had not read because he had signed the cards, and so we could look and see what he'd read and hadn't read. But anyway.
I bet he was happy when that new library got put together.
Yeah, exactly. But my children grew up in the library because the library was not open on Sundays. And so my mom would take them up when we'd come over to visit. And they got to see all the newest children's books and all those kind of things.
They got special access.
They felt like they were very special.
Hey,
But
keeps them happy,
That's right. But that new building was built, and then they enlarged it some. Then they built the one we have now.
Yeah.
And of course, we're so excited about getting to the enlarging this
the
now.
expansion, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The plans are just, they're so exciting. And, used to, you thought about a library and it was books.
Yeah.
Now a library is a multitude of things.
It's a community center.
Absolutely. And it offers so many great things for different ages.
Absolutely.
I mean, your little ones and your story hour. If you have not been down there when that story hour has broken loose, they are so cute and so full of themselves. And the library is a special place for them to be. And we have the same thing for the teens. Mm-hmm. Those kids.
And those are the elusive group to get a hold of. It's hard to get them to sit still.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to work at it.
Yeah.
You have to present something that's, as May used to say, down their alley. Mm-hmm. And it has to be down their alley.
All the way down, or they're going to be bored.
They won't come. They won't come. But one of my things I think about when I was in high school was a tornado that hit Collierville.
Yes.
When I was that age. And we had a group of first graders down in the library when that thing hit.
Oh my gosh.
And our library, our school library, was built with glass that came up at an angle, so that you could open the windows and you wouldn't get rained on.
Yeah.
Well, that day we were in the library and it turned black. I don't mean just dark. It was black.
Like nighttime.
Yeah, and we kept looking at each other, and then the wind started blowing, and it was whipping rain down, around, and back up again into the library. Well, of course, back then we didn't have any warnings. No, nothing. You were just wherever you were.
Where you're staying.
That's right. And so all of a sudden, this grandmother came running into the library, and she was yelling, "Cable's blown away, cable's blown away." And all the little kids' eyes got big and my eyes got big. And so anyway, she came and grabbed her grandchildren. And of course, Collierville had not blown away, thank goodness. But there had been damage done.
Not from a lack of trying, that's for sure. I've seen some of those photos. You would thought this place got hit by a landmine.
Well, I know. It really was through the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the edge of those buildings there, it just took them out. And so, but anyway, that was an experience that I remember. When there are tornado warnings now, And I think, yeah, you've got a warning now. We didn't have
Yeah,
anything.
I think they learned their lesson after that one. Now we've got the siren systems and everything
Yeah,
still, but
yeah. Well, it just, I mean, the technology that they have now to determine where tornadoes are coming. I mean, you think about the weather and what we know now. I mean,
and
that's
it's still not enough, really. I mean,
yeah.
they still can't really. I mean, a tornado can just decide out of nowhere to go left and,
Oh, I know.
and cut
You're
through your town.
exactly right. Yeah, it makes a difference. But like I say, there have been so many things that have changed. But you know, there have been so many changes, and I don't like the traffic. I will have to be honest.
I can in the
Because
small amount of time I've been here, the traffic has gotten pretty bad.
yes, it well. That's the thing. I remember on South Rowlett when they would bring the wagons, had the mules pulling the wagons, and the cotton. They would the cotton was loose in the back, and it would almost look like it had snowed because it blow that cotton out, you know, and you could see it on the side of the road. But back then, that was a form of transportation that you found pretty often, and people didn't have 3 and 4 cars, you know, or that kind of thing. We had a family car, and everybody used it. I learned to drive on a stick shift, and that was fun.
That's a lost art these days.
It is. It's a lost art. But
did you ever do the ponies? I get told a lot that people rode their ponies up to the square quite frequently.
No, I never did that. Now, we had a horse, but we never got off of our farm with the horse. He stayed on the farm. But I remember when it turned cold in the fall, that was when the pigs got killed.
Oh, right.
They smoked down the different cuts of meat, and my mother would cook the loin, fry the loin, and make gravy, and that was one of my favorite memories. That was good.
I love me a pork loin with some gravy. See, we made scrapple up north. They literally take the whatever's left over, put it with some cornmeal and some spices, and it comes out kind of like Spam.
Yes,
you slice it up and you fry it up. Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. Well, different areas have different foods that go along with it too. But we would, I liked that. I remember that especially being so good. And then when I graduated from Union University in Jackson, and when I went off to college was about when my family moved into the house that they built on college in Cooper.
And they just gave up the farming.
They did. Well, we had a man who lived in on a house on our farm, and he basically did the farming.
Oh, okay.
Because my dad was taught, but the log cabin that's on the square, I think I shared with you, came off of our farm. And so at one point, that log cabin was built on the farm, and then there was what we called a dog trot, and then another section of the house was on the other side. It was like how would I describe it? It was an area that connected 2 different parts of the house.
Almost like wings a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, wings of a house. But it was like that. And one of those wings was the cabin that's up on the square now. And so
I don't think people know that that's not the full structure.
Yeah. Now it was a stagecoach stop, and it was there not a long period of time because it was there as a means of transportation from Memphis to Holly Springs. And then when the train was built, then there was no need for the
coach
stagecoach
stop,
stop anymore. So they did not have it. But I found it interesting that the person, I think, who sold it initially had as part of the deed that the cabin could not be torn down. So that's the reason it ended up.
Well, I'm thankful for that agreement.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think about
too.
all the historical houses that get torn down. I mean, you have
Oh,
to make
yeah.
way for new stuff.
Well, you do.
But
Progress.
there's some stuff that I would like to see linger about. You know?
Well, that's the thing. And so this cabin got, and I will have to say also that the Contemporary Club was responsible for getting it when it began to deteriorate. Then the club was responsible for finding a man who was a specialist in building log cabins. He was from Ames Plantation, and he came down and he redid the cabin, and it was insect damage and then just wear and tear there on where the chinking is between the logs. So
that's usually the first thing that starts going is the stuff that holds it all together.
That's right. Yeah, that had gotten deteriorated over time. So we got him down here to help. Well, he did it. And then we had some areas that we needed more logs. And Herman Wright had logs stored somewhere from an old
Just
building.
on hand.
And so that's what we used to help finish out, the logs that were not in good shape at that point.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and then several of the ladies played hostess there, but Carolyn was the one who was there most of the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she did programs for kids groups and things like that. So yeah,
it's such a fun little spot. I don't know what it is, but the kids just love the cabin.
Yeah, well, it is. It's unique, I think, to have it the way it is.
Absolutely.
And so, anyway, it has added to the square.
Absolutely.
I think it has.
But I also think it shows the town's dedication to preserving that kind of stuff.
Well,
Mostly it was the Contemporary Club, but
Well, no, but the town, they saw a need for it, and the town agreed with that need, and it was a very simple thing to be able to work with the town.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure James Llewellyn was the director or town manager then, but
I don't know. He was town administrator for so long.
He was.
He retired literally the year I started working here in 2023, and I was like, wow, he's been here for a minute.
He has been, but he had a way of seeing the need for things too.
He was very historically driven, is what I was told. That he helped a lot with the museums getting together and things like that. I mean, I think every town, especially a town like this, needs a person to be like that, just to think a little more holistically, I guess, is the best way to think about it.
Well, and the other man that I think that was majorly influential in that was Herman Wright.
Oh, yeah. He was.
Because he, the square, I think, well, it went down, excuse me.
You're fine.
For a period of time. And he is, I think, was one of the ones that was.
Yeah, he made it more, I think, tourist friendly, I guess, is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he made like the walking paths and like the parking lot so people could actually come and enjoy it, is what I've seen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he did. And he had that family interest
Yeah.
because he had his family, was a part of that too.
Absolutely.
So, but we've been very fortunate.
Yes.
As I say, I got blown off my thought. I'm going to go back.
Okay.
There are things that I don't like that have happened, and that being one. But I will tell you, when I drive by and see the hospital here and have had the opportunity to be in their emergency room, I've been very thankful for that hospital.
Yeah.
I am very thankful for our library because it offers so much. When you come to these parks that we have, oh my goodness.
The walking paths.
Yes, and the lakes.
Yeah, Peterson Lake Park has got a beautiful one that goes through the lakes and the swampy area and stuff like that.
All of those things, the chances are good we would not have had
Yeah.
because of the expense and the locations and all of that. So there are things that come with growth that for those of us who've been around a few years, a little bit of a shock. But when I introduced myself, I said Betty Sue. When I grew up, I was Betty Sue.
Yeah. Some of your stuff I've seen, you've signed Betty Sue.
And so that I grew up with that here. And when I went off to school, I became Betty. That because your teachers just pick up your first name and
that's
that's it. That's what you are. So that changed. And when anybody says to me, Betty Sue, I know they're old Collierville because that's where it comes from. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that was the reason
Well, and also, to wrap up, a lot of people talk about Old Collierville, and there's different definitions of what Old Collierville is.
Right.
But what is something from Old Collierville you wish people would remember as, the town of Collierville gets bigger, new generations move in here?
Well, that's a good question. I would like for them to know and remember the dedication that people had, the love they had of their town, the determination to make it the very best.
Absolutely.
Even when we had 32 in our graduating class,
Yeah.
that we still wanted the very best that we could have
Absolutely.
for those 32 students. And the dedication to the younger generation, I think what's coming behind you, however you want to say it, you want to leave it better than it was when somebody passed it on to you.
Absolutely.
And so I think we have to be willing to accept change. Sometimes
not always the best, but
well, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But because change can be a threat, but change can also be stimulating to everybody. And I find it that way. I've been around a few years, and so it's just, it's exciting, it's stimulating, and that's what it needs to be. That's what your community needs to be. I want to be for my children, for my grandchildren, whether they actually live here or not. I want them to be able to come back to these roots and say, this is where my grandmother grew up.
Yeah.
Or this is where my great-grandfather preached, or my great-great-grandfather preached. There needs to be roots.
Yeah. And I think Collierville's done really well with being able to connect the past with the present and even the future.
Yeah.
So, well, Miss Betty, I mean, is there anything else you want to wrap us up with, or?
I want to wrap me up with an apology for getting words mixed up sometimes.
You're
I
fine.
hope you'll forgive me for that.
Oh no, you've done the best that a lot of people. So
But no, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about things that I love,
yeah,
and my town's one of those.
absolutely. And I think it's important for people like you who've seen so much of this town,
Yeah,
the good, the bad, the ugly, the great,
yeah,
and being able to convey to so many generations that come after you're long gone, that they can look back and say, this is home still. This is
yes.
how my mom saw it or my grandma saw it.
Well, and to remind people of things that happened, and circumstances, and I tell people they have no idea what the square was like when I was working at the drugstore. There was a lady whose name shall be nameless, but she came in on every Saturday morning and wanted hand dipped ice cream. Well, back then you didn't get boxes of ice cream. If you got take home ice cream, somebody had to take a quart container and an instrument, and you dug it out of the tubs,
Yeah.
and you shoved it down in there, and it was work. She came in every Saturday morning, and that's what she wanted. Well, we learned that, those of us who were the kids who worked there, so we would find a place to hide just about the time she came in, so we wouldn't have to pack that ice cream. But, just things like that just are so,
That feel mundane in the moment,
yes, yeah,
but are now so special.
yeah, exactly, because back then it was a very different place. We worked from 10 in the morning until 10 at night.
Oh,
The drugstore did. So.
long hours, I'm
And
telling you.
dead feet when I got home.
Trust me, I'm about 8 hours here and my feet start screaming too by the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I'm done.
they do. They really do. But no, Collierville is a wonderful community that we can be so proud of. And many, many groups, many people have gone into building it, not just a few.
Yeah, it's a sum of its parts, that's for sure. It
Yeah.
is a sum of so many beautiful parts. So, and I think
Yeah.
that's what makes us why we've resisted, why we've kind of grown where other studies have
Yeah.
kind of died off, and why we continue to, in my opinion, keep growing. So,
Well, I think this is an excellent thing because I look at people that I know that are no longer here, and we did not get the information. There was a lady who died recently who was Dorothy Jean Hopkins. She was kept books for Herman Wright for years,
okay.
and she had the most unbelievable memory. She was in her 90s when she died.
I guess she had to.
But Peggy Turnipseed and I went down there one day and asked her, and she told us every building that was on the square. She could tell you what business was in it way back when. And I thought I had lost that, and I was cleaning off my desk, and I found it. But she told us every one, and literally all the way around the square. I could remember part of them. I couldn't remember near all of them, but she had them all.
And that's why we kind of started this project. We've
Wow.
already lost so many, pillars that could have been such a wealth of knowledge for
Oh,
us.
yes.
But, we're doing what we can now.
Well, I tell you what, I think it's a great, great thing. And the museum itself is amazing. And so much information in a small area about our town. And then the opportunity to have the exhibits, things like that in other areas, and to have a place for us, different groups to meet.
Yes.
I mean, that offers so much.
Yeah,
And
it's just a
so,
place of community.
well, the Morton Museum, I went to school, Morgan Morton, whose mother this was named for. He was a year younger than I was in high school up here. And I found a picture of Morgan and was it, well, not Joel Porter, Morgan Morton, and Richie Hinton.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and we had been on a type of quiz 'em on the air kind of thing that they did 50 years ago. And so anyway, I found a picture of them, and I thought, little did we know that this then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is too, is that we have a lot of people in this community who go off to be something big. You know?
Oh yes, oh yeah, they much more than we ever thought.
Absolutely.
Much more than we ever thought, and we're proud of
I
them.
mean, as you should be. There's been some
Yeah,
greats that come out of Collierville.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming out. I mean, this has been an absolute pleasure to hear just, bits and pieces of just everyday Collierville, you know?
Lots of bits and
Well,
pieces, but thank
and
you.
people always say, like, oh, it's not important, but I'm getting to see the world, get to see Collierville through Betty's eyes, and that's
Well,
really important.
I think it's important for people to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been In Their Words, the Collierville Oral History Project. Thank you.